Hello traders and Market Club members everywhere. Adam Houston here, coming to you from the digital studios of Market Club. Today we're going to look at the technical aspects of the markets because quite frankly there's so much going on with Greece and also with the nuclear deal we've just cut with Iran. So let's see how things are going in the marketplace and if you should be in the market or out of the market. Okay, let's start with the Dow. As you can see clearly by the chart, we had a huge up day yesterday and that created two opportunities. Here they are. The first one is we actually moved over the 50 line, which is right here. You can see that quite clearly. Remember, that's a key level. This 50 line acts as resistance and support. So once you go through it, it tends to be weakness for the market. When you go above it, it tends to be strength. This is the case right here. And look what happened. This is a very difficult chart because obviously the markets have been going sort of in a nowhere zone. We talked about this before and how it's just rallied back up. But the other idea here is the fact that you went over the parabolic indicator. This is just a standard parabolic indicator. You put this on chart studies and you can see we popped up. But our trade triangles, both the weekly and monthly, are still in a red zone, meaning really you should be out of the market right now. It's a trading range with a 55 score. Let's move on. Same thing with the S&P 500. You're above the 50 line quite clearly here. You've gone above the parabolic. And it would seem to me that you're still in this broad trading range. Now, the next one I want you to pay close attention to because this is the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is a little bit of a different kettle of fish because you can see we have the monthly still positive. You're above the 50 line, indicating positive action. All we're waiting for is the green weekly trade triangle. It might come this week, it might come next week, but quite honestly, it has to make a new high. But the first indication was the move today over the parabolic, indicating that we're going to see a pop, much like we saw here and here and here. So I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to see this market pop up a little further. Perhaps give us a weekly next week. So let's see how that plays out. But strong market in the Nasdaq, that would be the one to focus on right now in our opinion. Gold, you see how it's just constantly going down. All of our trade triangles are negative, indicating further weakness ahead. Nothing seems to be able to support this market. The only thing I can see that's perhaps positive is the fact that we're very close to this long-term support back here in March. The euro dollar, quite frankly, is all of our trade triangles are negative. However, we're below the 50 line. The only positive is the fact that you're above the parabolic, and that's not a really big thing right now. You need to have more than one indicator giving you some opportunity there. Again, you can see how this 50 line on the RSI we talked about this before, how it acts as support as it did right here, and now it's acting as resistance. So you've got support here, and this is now resistance. Crude oil is attempting to make some sort of a base here. You can see we tested this level here just below 51 and it continues to hold at least in the very short term, and that's in the last several days. So let's see if that holds up. But generally speaking, that's how the markets tend to make some sort of support and resistance zone. Really not strong feeling on it right now, but all of our trade triangles are negative, indicating the trend is down and there's more of a likelihood of it going lower than going higher at this point in time. Here's one of the stocks we looked at last week, TEVA, and you can see what's happened to that stock. It's really doing very well, and it looks as though it wants to go still higher than where we are right now. I'd certainly look for a challenge of the 67 to even 70 level from where we are. So let's see how that plays out. Next stock we're looking at is Strategic Hotels and Resorts, symbol BEE. This came up on our symbol list, our trade triangle search yesterday, or actually this day here on the 13th, which was yesterday, at 12.93, currently 12.83. You can actually buy it at a lower signal. But if you wanted to be really conservative, a close over 13 would be very, very positive. And what I see here is almost a classic formation. You've got this like a head and shoulders base. The fact that we've broken out above here on the monthly is a good sign, but you can measure from the 1160 to let's say 1283. That's $1.20. Not a lot, I know, but that takes you up to about $14, which is right here, which takes you back to this area here, all the way back in late January. So that's a very small trade, dollar amounts, and it has all of the trade triangles going positive for it. The next stock is CELG. You can see the symbol as CELG, and you've got a nice formation here. And this is how we're looking at this stock right here. This is a nice sort of base. Head and shoulders base. Again, you've got this classic sort of neckline that's going here. You're just over that today. If it closes, I would say over 122, I think it will be very, very positive. You're over the 50 line, again, another positive. All of our trade triangles are positive. So you could measure from, let's say, the 106 to the, let's call that the 121 level. So that's $15. So it would take you up to the 136. That's the target zone for this stock, 136, and it looks very, very good, particularly on a close over the 122 level. Highly recommend this stock. It looks really, really good, and I think that the monthly signal that kicked in yesterday is just another indication that all of our trade triangles are positive, and you should be looking to get long this stock. Hey, I'm Adam Hewis, and we give you 3 stocks today. Hope you enjoyed them. Hope they make money for you, and every success trading with Market Club.